Alright, hello everybody, it is I, Granarite, and here we are back with another episode of Let's Play Assassin's Creed 3. Why do I have to mount a horse to continue? I have to follow him?
So what is your stake in all this?
Same as yours. Peace, stability. A land in which all might live side by side.
Oh yes, I
Free and
can't.
equal.
I was
Why
gonna
not
go
join the
to,
Brotherhood, then?
My father was an assassin. Quite good at his job, too, as I understand it. But I hope to have children someday. It's hard to live in two worlds at the same time.
I was gonna go,
chose to
explore,
live in
but I
one.
guess I can't do
I
that at this time.
understand.
I still contribute as I can. That's why we're here now.
If I remember correctly, we kind of go through a sequence. I played this game before, and I think we go through like some railroaded storyline missions that we have to do in a certain order. But if that's the case, that's the case.
What can you tell me of Thomas Hickey?
He has been running a counterfeiting ring in the city. Locate the source of his operation, and we can have him arrested. He cannot harm the commander if he is in prison.
Do you know where he is?
Not exactly, but I have an idea where we can begin the search.
All right. So we got a whole bunch of new things. We got the Culper Ring. So this was a network of rebel spies operating in New York and Connecticut from 1778 until the end of the American Revolution. The group was founded after British forces left Philadelphia and reestablished their headquarters in New York City. Washington knew that he needed people on the inside. I've always wanted to use that phrase, and between you and me, I also got quite a kick out of rebel spies. To report on British troop movements. He asked his newly appointed head of intelligence, Benjamin Talmadge, to find some spies, which Talmadge did. Talmadge needed people he could trust absolutely, so he began recruiting his childhood friends. Nothing says friendship like offering someone a job that involves risking their life. The name Culper Ring is taken from Samuel Culper Sr. and Samuel Culper Jr., the code names for two of the ring's main informants. I don't know who they were, but I imagine one was slightly older than the other. The group's biggest accomplishment was probably informing Washington of a planned attack on the French forces in Rhode Island in 1780. They're also credited with uncovering Benedict Arnold's betrayal of West Point, though the evidence for that is sketchier. In any case, the ring delivered secret messages for years, with none of its members ever being captured, with one possible exception, a woman referred to as 355, whose real identity and fate is unknown. The group is credited for being the most effective intelligence operation in the war on either side. You can't know how much it pains me to write that. It took ages. And then we had an update on Thomas Hickey. So Hickey resurfaces during rebel occupation of New York in 1776. He became a member of George Washington's personal guard, commonly known among the soldiers as the Life Guard. I imagine it took some pretty clever political maneuvering to get him there, given his record. I've seen some suggestions that he was a well-respected member of the Connecticut militia, but I can't find a service record for him there, and I have my doubts Hickey could ever have been described as well-respected. In any case, Hickey immediately betrayed his commission by planning to assassinate Washington. Maybe TH stood for that hooligan. And then we got the Smith & Company Brewery. At last, we could talk about beer. This brewery was built in 1752 by Jonas Smith and his son Elias. By 1775, it was the largest brewery in New York. Smith was nominally a loyalist, but that didn't stop him from providing beer to Washington's army when it was stationed in the town, or to the British regulars after their arrival. It seemed neither army cared about loyalties where beer was concerned. That's the kind of business attitude that built America, the American dream. Catch back up here.
There are rumors of bad bills being circulated here. No doubt they come from Thomas.
What are you up to? This isn't money. It's colored paper. You've cheated me for the last time. Gods!
Alright, well, we need to tail this counterfeiter. Sure he doesn't see us. Okay, well, that was dumb, because that guy immediately turned around and saw us.
Oh, Daniel, let's put them bills away. The guards is onto us. How? What happened?
So, our optional objective, I saw we need to perform a successful static eavesdrop, which is what we're doing now.
Boss is gonna be mad. Not so mad as if I got caught. Besides, we've got most... He's needing the job now anyway. Best go tell him. I'll warn the others.
Connor, you dummy. We got Wall Street here. And the Buttonwood Agreement. Alright, so Wall Street. In 17th century, this marked the edge of New York, of the city of New Amsterdam, and was located. It was location of the city's 12-foot palisade wall. The wall itself was torn down by the British in 1699, but the name Wall Street stuck. By the late 18th century, this was already becoming a financial center. Traders met at the Merchant Coffee House at the corner of Wall Street and under a buttonwood tree outside of to trade securities. This buttonwood tree is the site of the Buttonwood Agreement, which was the beginning of the New York Stock Exchange. The street is only 8 blocks long today as you see it here in the late 1700s. If it seems extremely small, remember the skyscrapers are tall rather than wide, otherwise they'd be called floor huggers. And the Buttonwood Agreement. The Buttonwood Agreement is the precursor to the New York Stock Exchange. It was signed in 1792 under a buttonwood tree on Wall Street, hence the name. Lucky it wasn't the monkey puzzle tree. That would not have been a dignified name at all. The agreement itself was fairly simple. 24 local merchants agreed that they would trade only with one another, and they would take 0.25 or 0.25% commission on whatever they traded. In case you're thinking 1792 is too early for there to be stocks to trade, it wasn't. The first war bonds were released by Alexander Hamilton in 1790, 2 years before, so you're wrong, and you should probably keep your opinions to yourself. Thank you, Sean. Okay, I'm like here. This game sometimes.
In these sultry days, Dr. Jones reminds us all to avoid excessive drinking of water and rather consume his savory salts. Your humours will thank you.
I heard what happened at the market. Boss wants everyone back at the shop. Says we strike tonight.
Be worried about that business with the guards. I'm telling you, it's nothing. Haven't had a spot of trouble since I slipped away. Of course, I'm taking care to keep my distance.
Can't believe we're really gonna do this.
We'll be heroes. The ones who ended all this talk of revolution. They'll set us up like kings, they will. Nah, revolution. Bunch of troublemakers looking to upset the apple cart. As some fool filled their heads with rubbish, ruining it for the rest of us good folk.
Good folk? Really?
Of course. You and me and Hickey. Just some hard luck lads trying to survive in this cold, cruel world.
Okay, well we're done, aren't we? We've eavesdropped them. Why are we still going? Hi. I would have. Yeah, they're gonna detect me because the game has decided that I couldn't get that. I mean, it just the game decided, hey, you're gonna fail this right now.
recent spate of accidents, a new bylaw will enforce annual roof inspections by qualified craftsmen throughout the city.
I heard what happened at the market. Boss wants everyone back at the shop. Says we strike tonight.
Be worried about that business with the guards. I'm telling you, it's nothing. Haven't had a spot of trouble since I slipped away. Of course, I'm taking care to keep the distance.
I can't believe we're really gonna do this.
We'll be heroes. The ones who ended all this talk of revolution. They'll set us up like kings, they will. Revolution. Bunch of troublemakers looking to upset the apple cart. There's some fool filled their heads with rubbish, ruining it for the rest of us good folk.
Good folk. Really?
Of course. You and me and Hickey. Just some hard luck lads trying to survive in this cold, cruel world.
They can see me up here? Really? Baloney.
I heard what happened at the market. Boss wants everyone back at the shop. Says we strike tonight.
Be worried about that business with the guards. I'm telling you, it's nothing. Haven't had a spot of trouble since I slipped away. Of course, I'm taking care to keep the distance.
I can't believe we're really gonna do this.
We'll be heroes. The ones who ended all this talk of revolution. They'll set us up like kings. Revolution. Bunch of troublemakers looking to upset the apple cart. There's some fool filled their heads with rubbish, ruining it for the rest of us good folk.
Good folk. Really?
Of course. You and me and Hickey. Just some hard luck lads trying to... Revolution. Bunch of troublemakers looking to upset the apple cart. There's some fool filled their heads with rubbish, ruining it for the rest of us good folk.
Good folk. Really?
Of course. You and me and Hickey. Just some hard luck lads trying to survive in this cold, cruel world.
Okay. Jeez.
What's this? Thomas Hickey? Might be. What's it to you? Right. Ain't supposed to be none of your kind left. Suppose I'd best be rectifying that then. Get him!
There's another one! Grab him!
Alright, do not tackle or shove anyone but Thomas Hickey, who went that way. Oh my god, that horse just body blocked me. Did you see that? Did you see that? Oh my god, get off the target, Connor. I'm trying to reduce my distance to the target. turn down that street. I missed the turn he made. Alright, we're gonna try again. Oh my goodness. What? Connor. Connor.
You get away from there. That's my money. Cut those bills and I'll kill you.
Hands off, I seen it first.
Oh, I almost had him and then...
You get away from there. That's my money. Cut those bills and I'll kill you.
Hands off, I seen it first.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Be still. You will do no more harm.
You're a right fool meddling in affairs you know nothing about.
Washington's the only thing keeping the Continental Army together. You kill him, you end all hope for freedom.
Wrong, boyo. With him gone, they'll have no choice but to promote Lee, and then... You are both under arrest! Oh, well, we were just having a scrap, officer. Ain't nothing wrong with two men settling their differences the old-fashioned way. Can't we come to a...
Quiet! What are the charges?
Counterfeiting!
I had nothing to do with that.
Course not!
Listen, there are more important things at stake here. This man is planning to...
Okay.
You missed me, sweetheart. What? Nothing to say?
If you are here, then Washington is safe.
True. Thing is, I believe I've just been pardoned. Thank you kindly for the rescue, gents.
There can be no further mistakes, Thomas. Am I understood?
What about the assassin? Yeah, he's here. They put him in a cell right next to mine. Guess we didn't get them all, eh?
Deal with this, Charles.
At once, sir.
What are we gonna do?
You're that boy from the Continental Coldness. Adams's little lapdog. I think I have an idea. Yes. 2 birds with 1 stone.
Do tell.
All in good time. It's not like the assassin's going anywhere. For now, we should see about getting you better accommodations here.
What are you on about? I thought I was getting out.
I'm afraid you won't be leaving for a while, thanks to Benjamin Talmadge. He's been running his mouth, saying all sorts of things. You're being investigated for plotting to assassinate George Washington.
What a bunch of bollocks. I thought you was gonna handle that.
We'll discuss this elsewhere.
Them eyes. So we are in jail.
I'm telling you, he's planning to escape. We should get in on it. Yeah?
And what makes you think that?
Caught him carving something in the yard. Slipped it in his pocket real quick when he saw me. Looked like a key.
Probably just a shiv.
Nah, Mason ain't a fighter. Always talking and tricking his way out of trouble. Weasel Weems, they call him. Sticky bastard.
Come on, Finch. He's not so bad. Even taught me some letters once. Gonna write a note to my lady.
Ha! What for? You think that whore's out there pining for you? Saving herself for when you get out? Huh? No doubt she's already moved on to the next fella, and the fella after him.
You shut your mouth before I shut it for you.
Easy now. Was just a joke.
Yeah? Well, it wasn't very funny.
We'll go back to sleep here.
Get up!
Where are we going?
Stay out of trouble or you'll wind up in the pit.
What are you looking at, half-breed? You not understand English? That it? Do I need to knock some sense into that thick head of yours?
Just get shoved around a little bit.
I should try and find this Weems fellow. If he intends to escape, perhaps he can help me.
So we got Mason Locke Weems. Mason Locke Weems, later known as Parson Weems, was a one-time parish rector who became a traveling bookseller, writer, and editor. He's mostly famous for his biography of the life of George Washington, first published in 1800. He was briefly the rector of Mount Vernon Parish, meaning he counted George Washington among one of his parishioners. Weems was a colorful character, a bit of a rogue, always with some story to tell, most of them completely untrue or vastly exaggerated. It's from Weems' biography of Washington that we get the well-known story of young George bravely confessing that he chopped down his father's prized cherry tree. Weems writes that the story is too true to be doubted, but who knows whether the phrase too true to be doubted is too true to be doubted. Weems also went on to write biographies of Benjamin Franklin, Francis Marion, and William Penn, again prizing being entertaining over actual fact. They sold well, however, paving the way for tabloid newspapers everywhere. And then we have Broad Street here. Broad Street is not Broadway, though you be forgiven for some confusion as they're right next to one another. This street was named after the Broad Canal, which used to run down the center. The canal was an inlet for the East River, and for part of its history, you could canoe along it. By the late 17th century, however, the water was so clogged that it was difficult and inadvisable. Houses had been built alongside, and both residents and local vendors used the canal to dispose of trash and sewage. When the British regained New York in 1674, they made many improvements to the city, one of which was filling the now stinking canal and paving the street over it. You can thank me on behalf of all Brits later. Nowadays, Broad Street is in the middle of the financial district and is mostly home to banks and another site you might recognize, the columned facade known as the New York Stock Exchange.
Mason Weems?
Could be.
I need your help.
Oh?
They say you know a way out of here.
They say a lot of things.
I do not have time for games.
A shame, as I was hoping you might play one with me.
Fine.
Are you familiar with the rules? Seeing as you already know mine, what's your name?
Connor.
Pleased to meet you, Connor.
I am not familiar
Well
with
played.
this game.
So, what brings you to Bridewell?
Treachery. I have been falsely accused.
Of course you have.
You do not believe me?
Why should I? You've the look of a brute.
You misjudge. I'm an honest man.
And yet, also a man imprisoned. Tell me how you found yourself in this place.
It is a private matter.
As is what you ask of me.
So when I can move the thing, I will.
Oh. Anyone I know?
George Washington.
The others put you up to this, didn't they? Thought it might be fun to have another laugh at Mason's expense. Fools, a lot of them. To make light of something like this. George Washington is brave beyond measure. Loyal like a brother, peerless in character, and unshakable in his convictions. That man is our Jupiter Conservator. Destined to lead us not just to freedom, but greatness. Anyone who says otherwise is either a simpleton or a traitor.
Then you understand why I need to get out of here. If I don't help him, he is going to die.
You're serious, aren't you? Very well. It's going to take some doing. See, everything hinges on the key I forged. That loud Finch stole it. Took me 3 months to make the thing, too. You need to get it back, or we're not going anywhere.
Consider it done.
He's there. Does he come back over here? He's on that way.
He is useless.
What are you looking at? You in the market for a husband?
Alright, we need to go down and talk to Weems again.
Your key is useless.
What do you mean?
It did not fit the lock.
It's not meant to.
You forged a key that does not work.
Well, that all depends on what you mean by work. It'll get us out of here. Just not the way you expected.
Then how?
You're going to use it to get the real key off the warden. You have to swap yours for his.
Why not just have me take the real key? Why all this extra work?
He might notice if it went missing. This way, he'll be none the wiser.
And when he tries to use it?
He won't. That's why we're targeting him.
How do I reach the warden?
Yes. This next part, you may not like.
Oh, as if I've liked the others. Out with it.
You need to pick a fight.
What?
Pick a fight, and they'll throw you in the pit.
And how in the world does this help us?
The warden oversees the pit. Getting sent there is the only way to reach him.
I'll give you credit. You've given this plan to risk my life a great deal of thought.
Take down as many as you can. 1 or 2 will only serve to entertain the guards. You need to make them angry. We all have our part to play. Try not to die.
Mm-hmm. Silent.
Fancy yourself a troublemaker, eh? Some time in the pits to cool your blood.
Look at all of you, pathetic, dirty wretches. You're not but swine, suckling at the teats of civilization. Thieves and scoundrels all. And do you acknowledge this? Do you repent and beg forgiveness?
We don't have to wait for him to walk away.
Need to take care not to raise the alarm.
You'll find Hickey through that door. It's where they keep the important prisoners. Nicer rooms, more space, those sorts of things. It seems even in prison, who you know makes all the difference.
Thank you, Mason, for everything. I will find a way to repay the favor when my work here is finished.
Get in there. It's not him.
Not who you was expecting, am I right?
What have we here? I thought we'd finished off your kind.
You would like that, wouldn't you? To rid the world of all who do not share your views.
Guilty as charged. Your meddling in the revolution has caused us no small measure of grief. It cannot continue. Our work is too important. But what would you know beyond all the lies Achilles feeds you and the tales you tell yourself?
I know that the people wish to be free, and that men like Washington fight to make it so.
Please, the man is weak. He stumbles and stammers through each engagement, making it all up as he goes along. His pedigree is pathetic, his military record even more so. I could go on and on, but we'd be here for days, so manifold are his faults, so deficient are his merits. He must be dealt with. You as well. I will abide no more flies in the ointment.
Here's how it's gonna work. First we bind you and bring you to your cell. Then tomorrow, you go before the court, accused of plotting to kill good old Georgie. Maybe we could pin the murder of the warden on you too. You did kill him after all. And who wouldn't take the word of Charlie over here? Once that's all squared away, well then.
All those years ago, the child in the forest was you.
I said I would find you.
And so you have. But not quite as you had expected, am I right? You know, all of this might have been avoided had you only done what I asked. But what's done is done.
All right. We get past that mission.
Up! Up with you! I said get up! Walk!
Bye now.
This is the other mission that I remember being a real pain to get the optional objective in.
Hello, Connor. Didn't think I'd miss your going away party, did ya? I hear Washington himself is going to be in attendance. Hope nothing bad happens to him.
You said there'd be a trial.
Oh, no trial for traitors, I'm afraid. Lee and Haytham sorted that. It's straight to the gallows for you.
I will not die today. The same cannot be said for you.
That's enough! Keep moving!
Alright, we walk towards the gallows, and there's George Washington with his 2 guards. We hear an assassin get somebody. See there, one just got there. Drops into the crowd, or jumps across. Oh my goodness. It's Achilles, and no one recognizes him.
You're not alone. Only give a cry when you need us.
Forget about me. You need to stop Hickey. He's... Up you go. Don't want to be late now, do we? You just had to be an hero, didn't you? You and Georgie both. Now you see what it gets you. A pine box and little else.
Brothers, sisters, fellow patriots. Several days ago, we learned of a scheme so vile, so dastardly, that even repeating it now disturbs my being. The man before you plotted to murder our much-beloved general. Indeed. What darkness or madness moved him, none can say, and he himself offers no defense, shows no remorse. And though we have begged and pleaded with him to share what he knows, he maintains a deadly silence. If the man will not explain himself, if he will not confess and atone, what other option do we have but this? He sought to send us into the arms of the enemy. And thus we are compelled by justice to send him from this world. May God have mercy on your soul.
Need to stop, Hickey. Go!
Alright, so we have to also kill, like, 2... Yeah, Hickey's going. Supposed to be a guy off to the right here or something. Oh, why did you miss him? And Washington's bodyguards died. Well, you have to do this quick. And again. I mean, Hickey just books it. Well, I missed him. Okay, I missed the one that we have to get the high profile kill on. This is, yeah, this is the one I always remembered, like, this was so hard to do. I wonder if I could tackle him really quick before he gets the second one. I still couldn't even do that. And it's all because I got knocked by that one guy. I didn't get him that time. Ugh. We need to not get hit by that guy, which he still just gets us every time. Every time. Even with this weird slow-mo we have going on. Ah, and he still got Washington's guard. These guards are useless. I mean, look at that. I mean, he just one-shots both of them. Hickey. I couldn't even get there in time. I can't even get there in time. The guide that I saw online for this one, because I looked on this one because I always have trouble with this one, it seems, said to get this guy first, and then book it up here for Hickey. And it says you're able to get one more before he gets both of them, but there's no way. Oh, don't kill him yet. No, 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 no.
Damn it.
Like, my only option is, like, restart this from the beginning now. Alright, we can skip some of this stuff. We have to walk to the gallows again.
May God have mercy on your soul.
Okay, let's try this again. Okay, well, I messed up because I didn't have my weapon out. That's the guy that tries to push me. No, 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 no! Okay, well, I messed that one up. We're never gonna get off this mission with 100% completion. Oh, now we're definitely not. The one guy pushed me and messes up everything. We're just gonna keep on going. Alright, we tackled him. What I want to do is disarm him. Shoot me, that's fine. Ah, you Hickey! It's gonna do it again. Did I get him? And it's gonna go to him talking. What I needed to do was disarm him. And that didn't work. So, we're gonna go through all this again.
May God have mercy on your soul.
Oh, sorry, I was not paying attention as I'm sitting there choking.
Need to stop, Hickey.
Once he starts swinging, it's over. Let's just try going for Hickey. I'm gonna skip the guy that John's fighting. Oh my goodness. Like, even with me in front of him, I can't get him to... focus on me. See, he just swings right through me. I can't even get him to... Oh, it just says hit him once with a single swipe on my tomahawk and it'll get him to focus on me. Which I couldn't even do because the other guys got me first. We're never gonna get past this mission with 100% completion. Hey, we got both of them alive this time. That's something. Oh, no, don't do that, Connor. Biscuits. Okay, so I have to wait for him to completely stand up before I can even swing at him once. All right.
May God have mercy on your soul.
Need to stop.
Oh my gosh, the crowd. Right, that should be all I need to do. Okay. Holy moly. I didn't even kill him, somebody else did.
Damn it. I thought I'd at least live to see another day. Shame.
I want answers. Why did Johnson try and buy my people's land? Why was Pitcairn targeting Adams and Hancock? What purpose would Washington's murder have served? Why does your order support the British?
How should I know? The Templars, Lee, the big man, Haytham, they has the money. They has the power. That's the reason I threw in with them. That's the only reason. Sure, they have some sort of vision for the future too. I didn't give a damn about any of that. They can sing their songs about mankind and its troubles. They can make their plans and spring their traps. Don't bother me none. They paid me, so I said yes. Didn't bother to ask who, or how, or why. Didn't care.
You chose to side with men who would rob us of our humanity simply because it was more profitable?
What else is there? I'm not some blind fool to give up all I've got on principle. What is principle anyway? Can you bring it to the bank? Don't look at me like that. We're different, you and I. You're just some blind fool who's always chasing butterflies. Whereas I'm the type of guy who likes to have a beer in one hand and a tea in the other. Thing is, boy, I can have what I seek. Had it even. Your hands will always be empty.
At ease, men! At ease! I said, lower your goddamn guns! This man's a hero! Oh, the General can be so stubborn sometimes. Piffle, he said, when we warned him something like this would happen. Piffle!
Stop.
He wanted to kill the commander. Nearly killed you as well. He was a scoundrel.
But still a man.
You're nothing if not consistent.
Where is Washington? I need to speak with him.
Bundled off as soon as your execution went sideways. He's likely on his way back to Philadelphia by now.
And so am I.
Something wrong?
He is still in danger. Hickey did not act alone.
All right. Blah. That's what I gotta say about that mission. Blah.
It's quite impressive what you've accomplished.
Is that a compliment?
Now, don't misconstrue. I'm sure the whole endeavor will end tragically. But to have come this far, well, it's more than I ever expected.
The people yearned for freedom but feared to grab hold of it. That fear is gone now.
Thanks to you?
No. This they did on their own.
You diminish your role. But you have always been of humble heart.
I do what is right. No more, no less.
You cannot tell him.
I have to. Otherwise, he will never be safe.
He is safer not knowing. By planting the seeds of doubt, you threaten to topple his entire endeavor. If Washington is paralyzed, Charles Lee will strike. You'll cause the very thing you aim to prevent. Hunt the Templars, as is your duty. But do not drag these men into it.
We must now all hang together.
Yes, we must indeed all hang together. Or most assuredly, we shall all hang separately.
You are once more our savior.
I must speak with the commander.
He's gone to try and hold New York. The British intend to take it. I fear we'll need to recall our men from Quebec as well. It's one thing to declare our independence. Now, my friend, we must make it so.
And we've seen memory sequence 8.
Everything all right? Sean has located a second power source. I've asked Rebecca to charter a flight for us. Where to?
Brazil.
Ah, yes. Flying in the van.
there, Rebecca?
Bad reception. Can you hear me?
Well, glad to see that's working. Guess I'll try you back when I'm topside. You copy now?
Loud and clear.
What's the plan?
According to our intel, the power source is being worn as a bracelet by some tycoon's trophy wife. We're working on pinpointing her location, but she's most likely inside a VIP booth on the stadium's upper level. I'll update you when I know more.
Now to find a ticket.
We don't have time to play nice. Steal someone else's.
Bilhete? Bit of a dick move, don't you think?
Certo. Well, I guess you could try and sneak past security instead.
That doesn't look like normal security.
Because it isn't. Those are Abstergo agents. Cross is probably here too. You need to be careful. Abstergo agents. Don't let them see you. Your target's definitely
Você
in
viu
the
esse
VIP
homem?
area. The entrance is at
Chame
the
a
end of this
segurança
corridor.
imediatamente se o vir.
Don't let them see you. Look out!
Great. They've set up a checkpoint.
Segurança!
O que é isso?
Alguém chama a segurança!
Stick close to the crowd and you should be okay. Or look for a way around it.
Ele está aqui! Ele está aqui! O homem dos cartazes!
Deixe-me ver.
Abstergo agents. Don't let them see you.
Looks like I'm close. Shit! Another checkpoint.
You're gonna have to find another way around. Security's too tight here.
Como assim? Trabalho aqui há 15 anos e nunca vi nada como
Watch your
isso.
back, they're
Quem
on you.
vocês pensam que são?
Sugiro abaixar o tom de voz.
Nada. Olha, aconteceu, só isso. A gente não queria que acontecesse. Só aconteceu. Sinto muito.
Sente muito? Ela é minha irmã, cara!
Almost there, Desmond. She's just on the other side of the stadium.
Other side?
Olha por onde anda. Alguém chama a segurança!
Alright, I need this agent to walk past me.
Use the catwalks to get across.
Two normal clothes guys beating on each other down there.
Should be in one of the rooms up here.
It's
Hurry,
Cross.
Desmond. If he gets away with the artifact, we're screwed. You can't let that happen.
All right.
Better move. Okay, head for the metro. I'll hold the train for you.
Head for the metro? Alright, there's the metro sign. What do you know? Wow.
We can get back to Connor whenever you're ready, Desmond. Unless you want to plug in the power source first. Up to you.
Alright, well, what kind of conversations we got with
So,
anybody?
what's the latest? Learn anything interesting while you were exploring?
They were working on some weird stuff towards the end. Trying to engineer new bodies and store their minds inside computers.
Failure after failure. It must have been hard for them.
I worry about it too. I mean, they say there's something in here that'll help us, but what is it? Why is it locked up if it's exactly what we need?
I don't know. Maybe it's dangerous. Maybe they wanted to make sure only you could reach it.
That's the other question. What makes me so special?
I guess we'll know once we open the door. Hey, I hope it's not uncomfortable for me to ask, but what happened with Lucy?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything.
No, it's fine. I really don't know. I was talking to my dad about it. It's hard to say. I mean, Juno definitely took control, but I think I agreed to it on some level. I think I let her in. No. That's not right. It wasn't her. Not exactly. It was more like a program. Does that sound weird? It showed me things.
What'd you see?
That if I didn't stop Lucy, Abstergo would get the apple, and we'd all be dead.
I still don't understand why she turned on us.
I'm sure she thought she was doing the right thing.
I gotta get back to work. You might want to do the same.
Alright. Let's read our emails really quick. We already got those. Okay, so my father was taken from me by human hands, a war they called it, for their freedom. They were not even meant to exist. You were not meant to exist. We conjured you, a mistake, an error that costs us the world. My father would sing to me as a child, soft songs of hope and love, his voice forever stilled when your brutish ancestors took up axe and club. Later turned on our own works against us. We might have known that was to come and averted it had you not dragged us into war. This is your fault. Another one from Sean here on American Politics. You know, it's rather incredible the way you lunatic fringes try to conjure the spirit of the Founding Fathers to support their various causes, and by incredible, I mean hilarious. They hold up slave-owning sexist homophobes as if it's some sort of ideal one should aspire. And in case you think I added the last bit for fun, as sexism and slavery bits are already commonly known, sodomy was a criminal offense in every one of the 13 colonies except for Georgia, and Thomas Jefferson, champion of personal liberty that he was, advocated for the castration of homosexuals. Lovely fellows, these founding fathers of yours, and now there's that new bit of madness with people asking for the removal of textbook references to their slave owning. And before you think to turn it back round and rightly point out their barbarism was inspired by English law, last I checked, two stupids don't make a smart. I thought the whole point of the revolution was to break free of the old ways, and it certainly doesn't recommend your founders as some sort of persons one should aspire to become, unless you aspire to become a manipulative bigot. Unless you think I'm championing some sort of leftist agenda, I'll gladly shame the internet tough guys who celebrate the Treaty of Tripoli as well. Shame on them for thinking it shows anything other than something taken straight out of the First Grader's Guide to International Relations. Its intent wasn't to prove America was a Christian nation. They were saying they weren't going to reignite the Crusades. No, that would be delayed for a couple of centuries. Now, I don't believe your founding fathers wanted to establish a theocracy, and they probably didn't intend for the country to be welcoming of all religions, but this isn't proof of that. I suppose the point I'm trying to make is that people might want to spend a little less time romanticizing, manipulating the past, fat chance that, and a bit more time focusing on how to improve the future, fatter chance still. That's not to say there isn't plenty to be learned from looking back, because there is, and just that most of the lessons wind up ignored and perverted these days. At best, it's disingenuous and unproductive. At worst, and often, it's rather dangerous. And that is Sean's output on American politics at the moment. Do you want to talk? Doesn't look like it. Let's go talk to Sean. We'll try back with our dad afterwards.
Oh, unbelievable.
What's up?
Your politicians are constantly referencing the Founding Fathers and insisting they must have been in support of one thing or another. I have never seen such a blatant disregard for history.
That's just typical political propaganda.
It's also dishonest and delusional. How can anyone claim to know what these people wanted based off scraps of paper and wishful thinking?
They're looking for intent. What these men envision for our country and its future.
Idealistic and unlikely. I don't think most of your presidents and senators and judges care what the founders thought. They just want to know how they can bend old words to achieve modern goals. Who cares if they were deists or theists or wanted a central bank? Why do people need the validation?
Excuse me.
What should matter is what you, as an individual, believe, and why you believe it. What, are we so insecure that we have to find 18th century letters to validate our beliefs? Oh, look, Mum, a dead man agreed with me. Maybe. If you transpose the letters in his shopping list, you can plainly see he was on my side.
Jesus, Sean. That's a cynical way to look at it.
Doesn't make it less true. I keep trying to understand how men like Washington and Jefferson could dedicate their lives to the pursuit of liberty and equality, yet have no problem owning slaves. It's hypocritical in the extreme, and your history books make only passing mention of the subject, as if it were of little consequence.
They had a war to win. Country's future to secure. How could they deal with all these issues at the same time?
Spoken like a true apologist. We hear it today, too, that matters of civil rights and equality must wait. There are conflicts to settle, economies to salvage. What do any of these things matter if the people are not free and equal? All of them. I wish there was a way for us to share what we learn from the Animus with others. Imagine being able to accurately answer questions about the past, or experience lost civilizations.
But how would you cite it? We can't just reveal the machine's existence to the world.
Why not?
Desmond's right. It would be dangerous. And we still haven't found a way to manage the bleeding effect.
Maybe when we're done saving the world, we can look into it.
Even if we do manage to stave off the apocalypse, it's not like the Templars are simply going to disappear. I suspect our fight will continue long after this latest battle is finished. Oh, look at the time. Oh, doesn't time fly? Look, I think it's best we get you back in the Animus, hmm?
Alright. So we've done talking to Sean. Our dad does not want to talk to us. And if we want to plug in the next power source, it's up this way.
What is a fact? Is it fixed? Immutable? Certain in its existence and only awaiting discovery? Or might it be changed? Here we knew the answer, and thought that it might be.
Goodness.
They were used to command, to control, to own. But we soon discovered another use. When enough sat enthralled were told to believe, their thoughts took on form. What we imagined became. If 100 minds could wish away a wall or create a tree, what might 1,000 do? 10,000 more? Might we change the consensus and will the thread away? We resolved to send one into the sky where it might illuminate us all. Once placed, a sentence would be uttered. Make us safe. In this way, we would change the consensus. We would save the world. But it never came to be. We sent a dozen of them skyward, but there was no way to maintain control, to direct the beam, to enthrall the world, to speak the words. Though this was strange and dangerous, what we tried next was worse.
Walk up a little bit and we'll get another scene most likely.
Our first instinct was to travel back, to change the past. But we could not find a way. But forward, we could look forward. And so here we sought to see beyond ourselves and know what was to come. First we watched to learn if our work would succeed. But the answer was always the same. So we moved on to other things. But she remained. The one you call Minerva. In time, she too stopped looking, and instead began to speak. She called out across time, in the hopes that you might be saved. She hid messages where none might find them, save for you and those within this place.
Fascinating.
Tired of it. The cryptic warnings, the threats. Just tell us what you want!
But they are. We saw the Nephilim there. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. Imagine trying to explain all this to a 2-year-old, to a grasshopper. When they said the will of the gods was unknowable, they meant it. Literally.
I killed her, you know. I killed Lucy.
It was the apple, son. It was Juno.
I saw what she was. What would happen if I let her live? I could have stopped myself. I mean, there was a force there. But I didn't have to. I chose to.
Desmond.
Lucy was going to betray us and take the apple back to Abstergo. I saw the satellite launched. I saw them turn it on, and then... it failed. Whatever's on the other side of that door, it benefits Juno. We need to be careful.
No, no. Did I take a wrong turn somewhere? Don't think so. I think it's loud.
What stories the temple will tell me today?
I'm telling you, there's something down here.
Don't be daft.
I don't know, maybe they were sleeping or something and we woke them. Some kind of cryogenics? Or hibernation? I mean, how do we know what the hell they were doing down here?
They were working on a bunch of different solutions, but nothing worked. Just went from one to the next, and then... I don't know. They must have left at some point. After the end.
I wonder what the world would be like if they'd succeeded.
I'm more concerned about what it will be like if we don't.
Salvation. They found a way. Too late for them, but not for you. Sealed to protect it. Though now it bars your way. Find the key. The past will tell.
Sorry, Desmond. A little busy right now.
Okay, so still Rebecca's good. Does our dad want anything now? Or is he good? He's good. And so that means Sean's gonna be good.
Oh, look at that. I found a third power source.
Already?
It popped up in an earlier search, but I've only just managed to confirm it.
Where?
There's a museum in Cairo with one on display.
I guess Connor will have to wait.
No, you stay. We need to find that key, and time is running out. I'll make the trip.
What about Cross?
Everything's going to be fine. I'll be back soon.
Ready when you are, Desmond.
Winter approaches. The air is still and sharp with grim expectation. The others sense it too and go about their work with uncommon urgency. I would like to help them, but more pressing matters now demand my attention. The Templars have targeted George Washington directly, and will not rest until he is dead. I had hoped to shield him from this knowledge, but Thomas Hickey ended any hope I had of staying silent. And so I have resolved to share everything I know, of the Templars and their plots, of who I really am. Achilles finds fault in this, and we argue every day, but there is simply too much now at stake to maintain restraint.
Don't do this, Connor.
Then what would you propose we do? Sit and watch while the Templars take control? We are sworn to stop them, or have you forgotten?
Assassins are meant to be quiet, precise. We do not go announcing conspiracies from the rooftops to all who pass by.
Who are you to lecture anyone? You locked yourself away in this crumbling heap and gave up on the Brotherhood entirely. Since the day I arrived, you've done nothing but discourage me. And on the rare occasions you've chosen to help, you've done so little, you may as well have done nothing at all.
How dare you!
Then tell me, on whose watch did the Brotherhood falter? Whose inaction allowed the Templar Order to grow so large that it now controls an entire nation?
If I sought to dissuade you, it was because you knew nothing. If I was reluctant to contribute, it was because you were naive. 1,000 times you would have died and taken God knows how many with you. Let me tell you something, Connor. Life is not a fairy tale, and there are no happy endings.
No. Not when men like you are left in charge.
Ouch.
In your haste to save the world, boy, take care you don't destroy it. Ha!
Okay. Defend our convoy. Goodness, there's so much now. That's fine. We failed to defend our convoy. And we're going to have a bunch in the assassin or in the database now. So we're going to read about City Hall here. So this building served as New York City Hall starting in 1702. It was also the city jail until New Gal opened in 1759. Despite New York's historically loyalist leanings, the building had decidedly rebel slanted past. Delegates from 9 of the colonies met here to coordinate protests against the Stamp Act. That meant representatives from the British Institute of Legislators were protesting what the British Parliament thought best. Truly huge step at the time. After the Constitution was ratified in 1789, Congress began to meet here, and the building renamed Federal Hall. George Washington was inaugurated as president on the balcony on April 30th, 1789. Oops, sorry, spoiler alert. Yes, he wins the war and becomes president, and then it turns out he was a ghost all along. The building was expanded in 1788, but torn down in 1812. Despite its name, the modern-day Federal Hall National Memorial in New York was never actually Federal Hall. Thomas Paine. Paine was a political pamphleteer, originally from England. His book Common Sense was an argument for American independence, and became one of the most popular books in American history, mainly because Americans thought it was a book about common sense, and on some level knew they needed it. At the time, most of the literature about independence was written by lawyers and politicians in the kind of self-important, florid language that can only be understood by college graduates or written by me. However, Common Sense lived up to its title. It was written in straightforward language, so basically anyone could understand its arguments, even people who couldn't read. The book was so popular there were numerous public readings of the text, making it an early audiobook in many ways. While the book wasn't what convinced Congress the value of independence, they already knew. It did cause a groundswell of popular support and was important because Congress needed the public on their side, and they needed to convince soldiers to fight for them. Common Sense did both. I don't have any record of Connor actually meeting Paine, but I thought you'd like to know about him as his work played such a crucial role in the Revolution. Yes, I put this at an end, so you'll read the whole thing before finding that out. I can be a bastard that way. The Declaration of Independence. Liberty. Congress unanimously declares the United Colonies free and independent states. Yesterday, the representatives of all 13 colonies resolved and declared the independence of their citizens and formally dissolved all ties with Britain. This Declaration of Independence, as it is so entitled, was drafted by a committee of authors, principally Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and Benjamin Franklin, and expressed in language more eloquent than we are able to describe the events and reasoning that have led to this final disruption. The Second Constitutional Congress began work on this document months ago. Some few among the representatives had every aspiration that the colonies would reconcile with the king and reasonable rights secured. With each additional regiment dispatched to these shores, that hope diminished until all voted in unanimity, blah blah, I can't say that word for some reason, to sever ourselves from our mother country. John Adams declares that this day should be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shows, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of the continent to the other from this time forward forevermore. The Declaration of Independence. You may or may not heard of this one. This document, in which the 13 colonies formally declared their independence from the Britain Congress, voted to accept the Declaration on July 4th, 1776, celebrated today as Independence Day in the United States. Contrary to popular belief, the document wasn't actually signed on July 4th. The first signatures weren't added until the Declaration was formally transcribed sometime around the beginning of August. Others were added as the delegates arrived in Philadelphia. By some accounts, the final signature wasn't added until sometime in 1777. The Declaration, with its statement that all men are created equal and that they have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, became an inspiration for other revolutions that came after it, most notably the French Revolution against the very government that supported the Americans in their bid for independence. Oops. Independence Hall. This was built between the 1730s and 1750s to be the Pennsylvania State House. The architecture is Georgian, which is popular at the time, and essentially means that the building was made to look similar to English manor houses of its day. Georgian, of course, being a reference to King George. Some of the most important documents in the American Revolution came out of this building. The Declaration of Independence was first debated and signed here. The United Constitution was drafted here. And if that wasn't enough, the Liberty Bell rang in the bell tower to summon people to meetings before it cracked beyond repair, of course, and also before it was really known as the Liberty Bell, but we won't get into that. Let that get in the way of a good story. The building became known as Independence Hall in the 1820s, a result of the Marquis de Lafayette making a return trip to the United States. Lafayette's visit was meant to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Revolution and to remind a new generation of what happened and where. It worked, creating a sense of national history and an obsession with tagging things with the words liberty, independence, freedom, and Washington. Alexander Hamilton was one of George Washington's trusted advisors during the American Revolution and the first Secretary of the Treasury of the United States. Hamilton was born in 1757 in the West Indies and was orphaned at the age of 11. However, his cleverness showed early, and his employers pooled their money to send him to university. Either that or they just wanted him out of the building. Hamilton moved to New York in 1773 and began attending King's College, later Columbia University. By 1774, he was writing pro-rebel articles, not really in the spirit of attending where named after the king, and by 1775, he joined the volunteer militia, again, probably not exactly what his sponsors had in mind when they sent him there. Hamilton fought during the occupation of New York in 1776. He was a natural leader, and George Washington appointed him an aide-de-camp, a job he held for 5 years. However, Hamilton was eager to get back into battle, and in 1781, he commanded troops during the decisive victory at Yorktown. Hamilton became a member of Congress for New York in 1788. He developed a particular fixation on the funding of the general government, which at the time was, well, broke, and it wasn't allowed to demand any taxes from the member states. While that may sound wonderful when you're looking at your federal tax bill, it meant the government couldn't do things like pay their army. Soldiers like getting paid. In 1787, Hamilton was named first Secretary of the Treasury, where he fought for a strong federal government in heated opposition with Thomas Jefferson, who promoted states' rights. Hamilton was responsible for creating much of the foundation of the U.S. fiscal policy, and the details of which are probably important, but so indescribably boring I can barely be bothered to finish a sentence. But I did, because I care. And Thomas Hickey updated. Let's see what we have here. History tells us that Thomas Hickey was hanged for sedition in front of 20,000 troops as an example. That's an interesting interpretation of events, but since New York didn't have a stadium seating at the time, I doubt many of the soldiers had a great view of the execution. The important message for them was, don't be a traitor, you'll get hanged. Not the niceties of who was on the gibbet. And we're going to hop into New York.
hours, we'd be in your debt, sir.
Benedict Arnold mission, interestingly. Homestead mission, lots of trinkets and such and things. And this is where we are going to end this episode for today. So we do hope you all enjoyed.